now stand at attention for our national anthem. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You may have your seats. Your Excellency, Dame Pearlette Louisy, patron of the Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School, Honorable Dr. Gail Rigobert, Minister of Education, Innovation, Gender Relations and Sustainable Development, Dr. Fiona Meyer, Chief Education Officer in the Ministry of Education, Mr. Cyrus Sepal, Education Officer for District 1, Ms. Abby Pulte, our esteemed guest speaker, Vice Principal, Mrs. Mayers, teachers, parents in the virtual world, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, well-wishers, one and all, a pleasant good afternoon to you. Thank you so much. We will now call on Ms. Joseph as she does the prayer.
Shall we stand to pray? Clasp your hands, close your eyes. Heavenly Father, surround those who are graduating with your grace. Bless the students with hope so that they move into the future with eager and open hands. Help them to put the knowledge, skills, and insight gained through their education for the good of all mankind. Inspire them to believe in the goodness of life when faced with challenges and difficulties. May they grow even more grateful and wise. Lord, bless the lives of the graduates with goodness and love. Help the students to use their gifts wisely. Father, help them to pursue their dreams boldly. Guide them to walk into the future with faith, hope, and love. According to the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11, it reads, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." We ask this prayer in Jesus' name, amen. You may sit.
We now call on Ms. Noel as she does the welcome.
It's on? Turn it back on, please.
Your Excellency, Dame Pearlette Louisy, patron of Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School, Dr. Fiona Meyer, Chief Education Officer in the Ministry of Education, Mr. Cyrus Sepal, Education Officer for District 1, Ms. Abby Pulte, our esteemed guest speaker, Principal, Mrs. Ethelyn Leos, Vice Principal, Mrs. Mayers, teachers, parents in the virtual world, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, well-wishers, one and all, I bid you a pleasant good afternoon. It is my very great pleasure to welcome you to Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School's 17th Annual Graduation and Awards Ceremony. This ceremony would normally take place in the month of November as part of our anniversary celebrations. But the pandemic forced us to take a long and winding road to get to this point. In spite of setbacks, shutdowns, and struggles, we made it. Pushing through the panic of the pandemic, we pressed on with purpose, passion, and perseverance, and found ourselves here once again. As I said before, it was a long road getting here today, but by the grace of God, we did it. Our theme for this year is Walk Upright with a Vision of Excellence. And true to these words, this purposeful walk has led us here today. To all who are here with us today, and to those who could not be here in person and are watching the ceremony as it is being live streamed, or thinking of the graduates as they celebrate this moment, thank you. Class of 2020, we are here to participate in the praise and wonder of your achievements. Today is a moment to reflect on how you spent your time as a student of the Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School as the world changed drastically around us. Teachers, students, and parents, today is a day to acknowledge and celebrate your unwavering commitment to achieving success. As you soak in today's event, be mindful that you're not only witnessing a rite of passage or a celebration of students' achievements, but mark this as a moment of triumph and thanksgiving. Celebrate our fighting spirit, dedication, and willingness to do what it takes to succeed. Staff, students, and parents, enjoy the proceedings, and throughout this ceremony, remind yourselves of what a remarkably resilient bunch you are. Your Excellency, honored guests, principal, vice principal, staff, parents, students, and well-wishers, it is my pleasure to welcome you to our 17th Annual Awards Ceremony. Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Noel. We now call on our beloved principal, Mrs. Ethelene Leops, as she does the principal's address. Please clap.
By now, students, you know me. Hello? Okay. Thank you. I have to leave it? So I have to hold one on? I like to gesticulate, you know. Thank you, Mrs. Felicia. Your Excellency, Dame Pearlette Louisy, patron and well-wisher, supporter, and everything else of Dame Pearlette. Our honored Dr. Fiona Meyer, who is always there with Dame Pearlette from the onset, Chief Education Officer in the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Gender Relations, and Sustainable Development. Mr. Cyrus Sipal, our beloved DEO for District 1. My Vice Principal, my support. Teachers, our distinguished guest speaker, Ms. Abby Pulte, who is an alumna of Dame Pearlette, who has made us proud. Students, class of 2020, ladies and gentlemen, parents out there, and all our well-wishers in the virtual world, a pleasant good afternoon to you all. Okay, I thought you all forgot how to say that too. Here we are today, students. Finally, after all the calls from your parents, all the checking ups to find out if we are ever going to graduate, all the WhatsApp messages, Miss, when it will be our turn? We don't want to do it if class of 2021, eh? You are here. Are you happy? Yes, miss. It doesn't seem so. Are you happy? Yes, miss. Okay. Today is your day. You waited quite patiently, I might add, for this, your special day, your time to shine. For each one of you, I saw this ray of sunshine every time you came to the school. Each one of you questioning with a zeal which I know you expected us to celebrate because you did so well. Like Miss Noel said, you were such a resilient bunch. You kids, well, you'll have grown up now in Form 1. You don't need to call you kids anymore. You have gone through so much under this pandemic. You weathered the storm called COVID-19. I have no idea where it came from. I wish it could go back. You faced unprecedented challenges and changes both at home and at school. Do you recall going from 5 classes with 1 teacher to 13 classrooms? Do you all recall that? From having your PE teacher teach you social study, mathematics, and your music teacher teach you social studies. Some of you found it strange. Having specialist teachers walk in and out with only 10 of you in a classroom. By bringing back our retired teachers in the persons of Mrs. Antoine and Mrs. Frederick, and even Miss Joanna Joseph. Mr. Lenny Leos left college to come and teach you mathematics. I don't think anyone knew what we had to go through to try to get 152 children make it in 2 months after being exposed to what we did not even know at the time called virtual classes where half of you did not have devices. The teachers learned how to go online overnight with no complaints. So we were all happy when we had to come back to the classroom, even though we were the only ones in the school. Do you recall how your retreat went? For the first time in Pearlette, we had a retreat on the courtyard. Everybody there sitting on the floor, doing TikTok dances with Mr. Lester Joseph, and we had fun, didn't we? So COVID changed a lot of things for us, but we still weathered it all, and students, you emerged victorious. And your results is testimony of your resilience, your hard work, your dedication, and that of your teachers. So today, I am not going to take over the role of our guest speaker, but your principal likes to talk, you know that. And she will not let you all go without a message, you know that too, right? You better answer, I'll make it longer. Students, you faced everything I have mentioned with one thing that all of us at Pearlette hold dear, and that is faith in God. You had a positive outlook and you made it through. And here we are to celebrate these achievements. You have so much to be proud of. We want you to hold your heads up high and continue to hold your heads up high. Hence the theme, walk upright. But we don't only want you to walk upright. We want you to live by the dictum of Dame Pearlette, that of striving always for excellence. So we want you to focus and keep your vision always on excellence and excelling. Students, we at Dame Pearlette never feared excellence because it's the catalyst that drives us, it's the oil in our engines, especially when we know that God is our conductor. Because we say we believe in all things through, and if we believe it, and we say that every day. So as you continue the next phase of your educational journey, there will be many challenges and distractions that you will be faced with. Barriers to your achieving your best and hindering your goals and ambitions. But you students have been given the 3 cornerstones of success whilst at Dame Pearlette over the 7 years. First and paramount, like I said, is the belief in God with whom all things are possible. Second, perseverance, a key term in your school's motto. We see it as key, as one should never give up on their dreams. For without dreams, the world is a vacant place, an abyss with no joy and void of anything important. The third one is self-discipline, also enshrined in your school's motto. For with self-discipline, you are in control of your destiny. No one can take it away from you. Whatever God has ordained, man definitely cannot prevent. What you want may not happen when you want it, how you want it, or even how you expect it. But with focus, ambition, and faith, you will attain what is destined for you. Today's theme expounds that, like I said, that you should always walk upright with a vision on excellence, for success does not happen overnight, but is attained by deliberate steps in the right direction. Block out the distractions of Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto, Instagram, and all the TikTok videos. Balance it with everything else, giving everything its place and its time. Understand, students, from now that anything worth having requires hard work and sacrifice, and you need to put in the time required to succeed. Students, engage in sports if you must, for it is healthy and beneficial for your minds. Don't remain indoors on a device. You are cutting your childhood short. I believe in you, students. After all, you came from Dame Pearlette, so you are pearls, rare and special. Don't try to be like anyone else, whether a scholar, a rap artist, a model, whatever, not even me. Learn from us. Learn from your idols, learn from your mentors, learn from your heroes, but be you. Do what we did in your way. Create your own path. Walk your own way, but do it with your heads up, facing every challenge boldly, knowing God is at your back. Students, and in everything you do, remain humble. I need you to shine where you land. No matter the secondary school you went to or you have been assigned to, you can shine there. When I tell you in a few years of constant success, no one will really care what secondary school you went to. The only thing that will matter is how well you perform at the career or the job you undertake. Don't settle for less than you deserve, and don't accept mediocrity. Because not even if they tell you that's the best they have, demand excellence, demand the best. I do it with no excuse. Let your moral compass guide you to what is right, and believe me, the pleasure of succeeding by doing the right thing is greater than success falsely earned. Don't cheat, don't lie, don't steal. Walk the straight path. It's not always easy. It can be very difficult, but at the end of that road, you will be so jubilant, you will not believe that you have achieved it. Students, teachers, our invited guests, parents in the virtual world, guests, ladies and gentlemen, I do not profess to have all the answers. I remember my father taught me, God bless the child who has his own. So I learned from early I have to work for it. Don't expect what my father has. And my mother taught me from a very early age when I started teaching as an intending teacher at 15 to save every cent you can. Don't expect to save after you retire. And these are things I can leave with you, and I want to leave with your parents. Don't make our students believe that everything you have is theirs. Teach them to work hard. Teach them industry of purpose. Teach them to appreciate your hard work to give them the best. And the story of, oh, I had it hard, my child must have it easy, we are not raising lazy children. We are raising Dame Pearlette children. Have you ever tried to bite a pearl? A pearl is so hard it might break your teeth. So I know you have it in you. I know you have the backbone to weather anything, and you have everything it takes just from being a Dame Pearlette student to succeed in life. Don't take the easy road. Many people who took the easy road and think others should work and give to them, they are on the streets right now committing crime. That's not my expectations for you, and I know that's not yours for yourselves. So I implore each and every one of you, walk upright, facing all challenges with a vision on excellence. Make no excuse for wanting the best. What others may call boastful, I call confidence. What others call rude, I call assertive. I'm all of that. And you can be it too. Keep your vision and your eyes clear. Block out the distractions and make excellence part of your daily vocabulary. For, like I said, if you excel in small things, you will excel in great things. And anything you conceptualize for yourselves, you can realize if you work hard at it. I believe in you, students, class of 2020. Go out there and show St. Lucia the best you've got. I know you have it. Let it shine. Go forward with your heads up. Walk upright and face every challenge knowing that you will excel. Congratulations, class of 2020. You did it, but I still expect a lot more from you. Thank you, and all the best.
We thank you so much, Mrs. Leos, for these motivating words. I feel like I can climb any mountain and swim any stream at this time. We now call on two of our students as they bless us with a song. We will rise up 1,000 times. No matter how many times we fall, we will continue to rise because we are excellent people, yes? Indeed. We will now call on Dr. Fiona Meyer.
Good afternoon. Testing. Good afternoon. Some of the students, their heads were down and they woke up a bit. That's beautiful. Permit me to recognize the presence of Your Excellency, Dame Pearlette Louisy, patron of the Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School, an educator of many, many years, and an individual who stands by education. So it was really beautiful to see Dame Pearlette walk in this afternoon. I recognize likewise Education of the District 1, Mr. Cyrus Sipal, colleague, Principal Ms. Evelyn Leos, Madam Vice Principal, all of the teaching and support staff of the Dame Pearlette Louisy, our parents who are out there both in virtual as well as face-to-face, well-wishers, ladies and gentlemen, and most especially the students here this afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm not going to act like Miss Leos and say that I like to talk a lot, right? I don't. Maybe I do a little bit. Luckily, my two daughters, Alexi and Shari, aren't listening. They are aged 25 and 22. And they say, Mommy, don't say anything. But I will. Do you know why I will, students? Because you are my child as well. I claim you for myself. So our dear parents listening in the virtual land, your children belong to us. This is why our teachers can so proudly stand next to them. We do not see them simply as students, we see them as our children. And so the same thing that I would want for my two daughters, I want for them. Now I heard Miss Leos speak to Philippians 4:13. Could you help me with that verse again? I think I forgot. Philippians 4:13, what does it say? Let's hear that again. Philippians 4:13. I can do. But do you know what? It's a choice. Do you understand that, students? You have to say to yourself, I choose to do all things because I know there is a being much greater than any human being who is going to strengthen me. And you know what? You need it more than ever. All of you at secondary schools, we can gladly speak to universal secondary education. We all get to go. When I went, we didn't all get to go. And my classmates and I have just celebrated 31 years since graduating from the Corinth Secondary School, being the first cohort when Corinth became a full-fledged secondary school. And you know what? They reminisce about secondary life. This is why, students, I want you to enjoy the time. There's no need to grow up quickly. It will come. And when you get to that point, you'll say, boy, I wish I wasn't there yet. Enjoy friendships. Enjoy things that teenagers do. Enjoy the experiences of getting to know new people while nurturing the relationships that you've established from Dame Pearlette. Build, don't break down. Lift up. Don't be the negative voice in the corner. And if you try to blow out somebody's candle, yours will not burn any brighter. Did you all hear me? And do you know what, students? Just like universal secondary education, there is space for all of you. In a tiny country, tiny, 180,000, 170,000 people. There is space for all of us to excel. So rather than pull somebody down, appreciate and recognize that their talent may be different to yours. Applaud them while working on yours as well. Let us be support for each other. And we're not too young to do that. We don't have to wait till adulthood to do that. So today, I encourage you, when you hear that your classmates are being awarded, cheer them on. Recognize where you are on your journey, which is different to them. You're not giving up on yourself, but you're recognizing excellence. I just want to tell you very briefly that I want you to repeat a word with me. Could you help me? Gratitude. Students? Gratitude. Unfortunately, we forget very quickly. Unfortunately, we forget that people have supported us. We forget where we came from sometimes. And do you know what? A simple extension of that gratitude by turning around and saying thank you. So in the event you haven't said thank you to your kindergarten teacher through to your grade 6 teacher, from the caretaker to the cook, to the bus driver, to your parents, to the principal, turn around. Make a mental note to do so. I want to also ask you to remember the basics. I was teased by my secretary some time ago, and she said, every time you come, you say good morning. Do you know why? Because I see different people. And sometimes somebody may say, but she walked past and she never greeted. I may have walked past 3 or 4 times before. So the simple things that we learned in terms of manners, we used to say that at school. One of my teachers made us say it over and over and over. Do you know what it is? Manners. Manners maketh man. Do you know people have gotten jobs because they've said good morning? Do you know people have gotten scholarships because they greeted properly? Your parents may be extra nice to you because you are a mannered child, you are a disciplined child. It does make man and young ladies. So as you go into secondary school, let us not become adults because everybody else is doing it. The values instilled in you, do not let peer pressure erode them. And I don't know why we always think that peer pressure must be negative. We must always follow somebody else, drag them the other way, push them the other way, encourage them, motivate them to go the other way. And you will be confronted with lots. There's so much out there. So much more than when we were young. We're still young, right, Miss Leos? Oh, yes. Teachers, we walk the walk, right? Yes. But there's just so much more that you're exposed to in the big virtual world that we so appreciate, but there are many dangers as well. But you making a conscientious effort and a choice to be excellent, a choice to go down the right path that you know your parents, your teachers, your well-wishers would want you to go. A choice for you. Not for me, in as much as I will be standing on the sideline cheering for you. But it must be a decision you make for yourself. And in closing, let me say to you that any secondary school that you've been placed at, that you've decided and chosen to go, warrants your 150% effort. And if you choose to lay back and say, oh, I didn't make it, it's not going to help anybody. In all walks of life, and I don't know if we did a survey among the teachers, you would know that they didn't come from one secondary school. They came from all over. The opportunity that you have, do not let it fall by the wayside. Did you hear me? Do not let it fall by the wayside. Many did not get it. So as I congratulate the Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School and the class of 2020, yes, we spoke about the R word, resilience, and being resilient. You have made it, but you must continue along the journey, because there is success for every one of you. I thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Maya. We will now call on Ms. Linda Charles as she introduces our guest speaker.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please allow me to adopt the protocol which has been established. Miss Abby Pulte is a former student of the Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School. She was a consistent top performer of her grade and represented her school at numerous competitions, winning several of them. She was the Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School top performer in minimum standards in both the 2008 and 2010 examinations. At the Common Entrance Examination, she placed 11th on island. Abby graduated from Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School in 2012 and was the recipient of the Student of the Year Award. She went on to St. Joseph's Convent and was a consistent performer at the institution. She maintained her merit for all 5 years and topped her class and form on numerous occasions. She graduated in 2017 with a total of 13 awards, including subject awards in additional mathematics, biology, and physics. At the CSEC examinations, she earned 9 grade 1s. She also received St. Joseph's Convent's highest performer award in Spanish and mathematics. At the 2016-2017 National Awards of Excellence, Abby was the recipient of the National Award for CSEC General Mathematics. In 2017, Abby enrolled at the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, where she studied pure mathematics, applied mathematics, and economics. She made the Dean's List every semester. At the Cape level, she received a total of 7 1s and 1 grade 2. At her 2019 graduation ceremony, Abby received the Top Performer Award in pure mathematics, applied mathematics, and economics. She also graduated as the overall top performer, earning the highest GPA. She was recognized at the 2018-2019 National Awards for Excellence for her outstanding academic performance in the Division of Arts, Science, and General Studies at the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. Abby took a gap year between 2019 and 2020, where she worked at an insurance company before enrolling in university to pursue a double major in economics and finance. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, she has been doing her studies online. Outside of school, she has been an avid athlete. She was a dancer with the St. Lucia School of Ballet and Modern Dance for 9 years and was a national competitive swimmer for many years, representing St. Lucia at numerous regional competitions. She stopped competing at the age of 17 and transitioned into coaching, earning certification from the International Swimming Federation in 2019, she was selected as an assistant coach for the St. Lucia National Swim Team at the OACS Regional Championships. Presently, she coaches at her former swim club while pursuing her second-year studies at university. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Miss Abby Pulte, one of our past students of the Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School, to deliver the feature address. Let us welcome Miss Pulte.
Your Excellency, Dame Pearlette Louisy, patron of Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School, Dr. Fiona Meyer, Chief Education Officer in the Ministry of Education, Mr. Cyrus Sipal, Education Officer for District 1, Principal, Mrs. Leos, Vice Principal, Mrs. Mayers, other specially invited guests, teachers, parents and family watching virtually, and most importantly, you students, I bid you all a pleasant good afternoon. Before I begin, I want to take this time to congratulate the graduating class of 2020. Though your graduation is a few months late due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it is indeed a special occasion worth celebrating, and so I am happy that we are all gathered here today to recognize your achievements. I am honored to be invited as a guest speaker at today's ceremony, having been a student like you at the Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School. I am also happy to see many of the teachers who were instrumental in providing me with the foundation of excellence that I can be here to address you, and I have no doubt that they have prepared you in the same way that I was. I would like to take this opportunity to thank them for contributing to who I am today. Additionally, I would like to thank the principal, Mrs. Leos, for providing me the opportunity to address you students. Some of us have dreams and aspirations from very young. I'm sure among you students here today, there are a few of you who may already have your eyes set on the career you want to pursue. Whether that be an engineer, a programmer, a police officer, a content creator, or even a professional athlete. However, for some of us, particularly at your age, we have not yet crystallized a vision for ourselves. When I was your age, I had no idea what I wanted to pursue in terms of a career. I went through my entire secondary school life being completely lost in that regard, and to be honest, it frustrated me. I knew what subjects I liked, what subjects I wasn't good at, but I still had no idea what career I wanted to pursue. And to let you in on a little secret, I still sometimes feel lost in that regard. But I knew, however, that whatever I did decide, career-wise, I didn't want to be mediocre. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be something great. Therefore, it was imperative that I pursue excellence in everything I did, from my academics to my extracurricular activities. So while I didn't have a vision for myself in terms of my future career, I had a vision of excellence. So I find the theme, Walk Upright with a Vision of Excellence, quite appropriate for today's ceremony, as it encapsulates all that it takes to achieve success. When I reflect on my time at the St. Joseph's Convent, I vividly recall the principal and the teachers constantly reminding us to walk upright and not slouch. And to be honest, I found it a bit annoying. But when you think about it, when you walk upright, you feel a sense of purpose, and you approach your surrounding story in a more confident manner. Your physical state is a manifestation of your mental and emotional being. So the way that you walk and carry yourself have a big impact on your approach to life. This sense of confidence helps you to pursue excellence, and the pursuit of excellence will in turn help to increase your self-confidence and allow you to walk upright with your head held high. So the two are intertwined and are critical to your success. Having a vision of excellence simply means that in everything that you do it intentionally and perform to the best of your ability. This will leave many doors open for you and will almost guarantee your success, as you have set yourself up well to achieve it. So what can you do to live out your vision of excellence? Well, I will share some thoughts that I have learned along my academic journey and even in my extracurricular activities. I urge all of you to listen and plan to leave with at least one point that you are going to begin to practice or do better at. I will say, however, that to change your habits is difficult. In some of these thoughts that I'm about to share, I still struggle with and have found it difficult to improve or change. But improving in these areas is a lifetime journey, and what I have found is that a small step forward, a small improvement, is a small step in the right direction. So I want to begin with the importance of goal setting for yourself. And a goal is really something that you want to achieve. The goal could be something you plan to achieve in 5 years, or it could be something you want to achieve next term. And why is setting goals important? Well, firstly, goals push you forward. When you clearly define something you want to achieve, you feel a sense of purpose and motivation. Sometimes we go through the motion of life without thinking consciously of what we're doing. We're like a boat at sea without an engine. Goals allow you to be more intentional with your actions and help push you to take the necessary steps needed to achieve something. Secondly, goals hold you accountable. When you set a goal and you don't achieve it, you are more likely to reflect and see where you may have gone wrong or what you could have done differently. Without goals, your performance is simply your performance. It is what it is. You are never too young to set goals. Setting short-term goals like improving your overall average by 5% by studying 1 hour a day until your final exams helps you to navigate through school more easily. These short-term goals keep you motivated by experiencing successes along the way. I am sure all of you have been doing this with or without much thought. For example, I'm sure many of you had a secondary school in mind when you were doing your common entrance, a school that you wanted to pass for. That is a goal. But where most of us fall short is not preparing sufficiently to achieve what we would like. So setting goals is the first step. But these goals need to be followed by hard work. When you work hard as you can, for the things you want to achieve, whether it is to make a sports team in your school, to get straight A's in all your subjects, you can never have regrets. It is when you fail to achieve your goal because you didn't put in the effort, that is when you feel bad. As long as you have put in the work, you should always be proud. The most that you can ever give is your best effort. When you do actually achieve after all your hard work, the success feels sweeter than ever. You have been rewarded the simple pleasure of satisfaction after putting in your best effort. Additionally, we are gifted with many talents. You may be a math whiz or a football prodigy. However, talent alone will not get you to the highest level. Talent must always be combined with hard work. And I'm not sure if any of you all are familiar with this quote that says, "Hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard." And I couldn't agree more. All of those who have reached the top at anything have reached there not just because of their talent, but because of the hard work that they have put in. So you must put in the hours of doing the right things to master anything. I can assure you that no matter what your starting point is today in anything that you do, if you make a consistent effort to start revising your math, for example, or practicing your skills, you'll be surprised at yourself at how good you become. I'm not sure if this may surprise you, but although it may appear that I've got all these awards and I may be a good student, in many ways I didn't work as hard as I should have. And so that is something that I want you be mindful of. So I get all these awards and I seem to be working hard, and I do work hard, but in many regards I didn't work as hard as I should have. However, even when we work hard towards our goals, we make mistakes along the way. We sometimes lose sight of our goals and fall victims to our mistakes. As human beings, we are not perfect, and we are bound to make mistakes, and will make many of them for that matter, whether we like it or not. As students, I'm sure upon reflection, you can pinpoint many disappointments and mistakes that you have encountered. I'm sure a popular one would be waiting last minute to study for exams, putting you under a lot of pressure. I myself am guilty of doing this. But I want to urge you not to pine over the outcome of your mistakes. Instead, focus on what you did or did not do that led to the negative outcome and your disappointment. Essentially, I'm asking you to change your perspective. Your mistakes are priceless teaching moments and an opportunity for you to grow, but only if you allow it. Look at your mistakes and failures as opportunities to become better students by avoiding the same mistakes. So how do we put into practice these lessons we have learned from our mistakes? Well, we do that by focusing on continuous improvement in everything that we do. We are all different and we excel in different things. Some of us in sports, some in academics, some in music. However, regardless of all of our differences, there is something that we all have in common, and that is the ability to do better. We are all capable of improving at anything that we do and in achieving excellence in all aspects of our lives. And there's a term for this continuous improvement. It's called Kaizen. It's a Japanese term meaning change for the better or continuous improvement. And I learned it from my former swimming coach, and it's actually the motto of our club. And I want to encourage you to implement Kaizen in everything that you do, in all aspects of your lives, in your education, in your extracurricular activities. Kaizen should always be at the heart of it, always wanting to continuously improve. So I'll give you an example of myself. When I was at Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, I was a better student than I was at the St. Joseph's Convent. Now that I am enrolled in university, I am a better student than I was at Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. So you hear all the awards, and I could have said to myself, you know, you've been successful, and I could just choose to ride on that. But instead, I chose not to rely on those past successes, but rather outperform these past successes. And a fundamental way I did that was by analyzing my mistakes, seeing where I went wrong, and doing differently. And what I realized about myself was that I was not organized in my studies. I didn't dedicate enough time towards my work every week. So I made those differences. I put more hours of self-learning into my schedule every week, and that is how I've been able to continuously improve as a student. There is no cap on the potential that you can achieve, because there is always room for improvement in everything that you do. Lastly, I want to speak about the importance of building confidence, and this is an important one, and I think it relates to the theme perfectly. It is difficult to walk upright and have a vision of excellence if you don't believe in your ability to achieve and do great things. Low self-confidence makes your dreams and aspirations seem unattainable, like you are unworthy of achieving them. As a result, it is difficult to remain motivated and committed to the goals you have set for yourself. Confidence helps you to be resilient and bounce back when you may fail. It allows you to persevere when the going gets tough because you believe in your ability. Though some of you may find it surprising, but I have struggled with a lack of confidence for a very long time, and it cost me a lot. I always found myself doubting my abilities, no matter how much I prepared for my exams, and I always expected that there will be something in the exam that will tie me up, something that will throw me off base, something that I wouldn't be able to solve. And lo and behold, I always encountered something that I wasn't able to do. And it wasn't necessarily because I didn't know how to do the question. It's because my lack of confidence crippled me so much that I literally had a mental block. And I experienced that time and time again. So it's no doubt that a lack of confidence affects your performance and ability to excel. And this doesn't only apply to academics, but also in your extracurricular activities. So I'll give you an example. As a former competitive swimmer, I also experienced the same lack of confidence, and I recall at competitions, my body would literally be numb, and I would never be able to swim to the standard that I expected of myself because my lack of confidence, crippled me. I would be so consumed by nerves that I would not be able to swim in the way that I would like. As athletes, as students, you will always get nerves on important days that require you to perform. Having confidence in yourself, however, will make these nerves more manageable and allow you to perform to the best of your ability. And it takes practice to build confidence, but you can do this in a number of ways. First and foremost, practicing your skills repeatedly. The better you get at something, the more confident you become, the easier it is for you to have a vision of excellence for yourself. Secondly, visualizing what you want to achieve. For example, you may visualize yourself at graduation in a few years, getting an award, the top award in your favorite subject. Thirdly, practicing positive affirmations. Now, this one may sound silly to you, but I can tell you from experience that constantly repeating positive words to yourself really helps to boost your self-confidence. So to conclude, I want to remind you that setting goals, working hard, learning from your mistakes, focusing on continuous improvement, and building self-confidence will allow you to achieve excellence and success. Excellence is not reserved for any one group of people. Your present circumstance is only your starting point. Your vision of excellence can take you anywhere. You may have felt disappointed that you didn't pass for the school of your choice, for example, but it is not over for you. What you become depends on your attitude and the choices you make, the pursuit of excellence. So walk upright, remain committed to your studies and extracurricular activities, and pursue excellence in all that you do. And I want to leave you with this quote. It says, "The best preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today." Congratulations on this huge achievement and milestone, and remember to only look up from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pulte. Students, Ms. Pulte reminded us to be great wherever we are. She reminded us that we may be disappointed at the end of the day, but let's not remain there, but let us keep pressing forward with excellence in the forefront of our minds, yes? Yes, we will now have our dance by our graduates.
This pandemic has proven to us all that we can stand on our own with all the resources that we were given. Not looking for another hero, we are looking towards our future. We were told that we would not be able to succeed, but we are here. This is our new beginning. We rebel against this pandemic to start anew, to obtain a future for our generation.
To us all that we can stand on our own with all the resources that we were given. Not looking for another hero, we are looking towards our future. We were told that we will not be able to succeed, but we are here. This is our new beginning. We rebel against the pandemic to start anew, to obtain a future for our dear.
Indeed, our dancers really encouraged us to stamp out our problems. Give them a round of applause again. Indeed. Our problems can never be bigger than us when we have understood that we have a God who is bigger than all things. All right, folks? We shall now have the presentation of our certificates. We now call on Mrs. Mayles.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, students. Please allow me to adopt the protocol which has already been established. This afternoon, I am here to call on our students, the class of 2020, to receive their attendance certificates. Now, students, it will be done a little differently than we would have done in the past. Before, you would have to shake hands with the principal. But this time, you are going to she's just going to hand it over to you. And this is to no fault of ours, just because of the protocols that we have to follow. So I now call on Mrs. Leos. And we are going to do it by classes. So I call on the first class teacher, who is Mrs. Sophia Isidore Joseph. And we begin with Finella Albert. Ethan Auguste. Kishelle Auguste. Ethne Brown. Hannah Carrasco. Jalea Daisy. Diane Dorius, sorry. Alexia Eugene. Sabina, I can never say the last name, sorry about that. Omarion Edwin. Bijan Fanis. Kaylan Joseph. Who's that person? I've never seen him there. Who's that? Javon Gray. I'm not seeing who's there. Who's that person? I'm not seeing. Okay, I just have to call. Malik Martin. Because I'm not seeing the person well. I'm not seeing the face properly. Jaim Simeon. I didn't say Jaim. And who's the next person? Amala Maxius. I'm not seeing them. Because of the mask, I'm not seeing their faces. Find out who's different. Sorry, I'm not seeing their faces very well because of the masks. Noemi Alexander. Caleb Thomas. And who's the next person there? Who's the next person? You'll have to tell me who is there. Jivan Gray, Ariane Felicia, who's the next person? Next row. Okay, I'll just call the names. Yeah. Lucy Nelson, Nima Samuel, Anderson Tarpasad, Arthur St. Louis, okay. Still can't see, okay. All right. Joshua Solomon, not there. DeAndre Vigé, Klein Morris, Amaya Joseph, Jaden George, okay, so is that all from your class? Who? I suppose that's what I'll have to do. Yeah. Jalea Daisy, she there? She has come. Okay. All right, so I think that's your class. I've done Kaylan. Yeah. Melody Emmanuel. It's not there. Okay, I'm having a problem, difficulty. Yes. Okay.
Just going for it faster.
All right, no problem. Okay, so that's it for you. Thank you, Mrs. Joseph. From there.
So why are you taking all that time when you put it in the same order?
No, the children are not that. I'm not seeing them.
Miss, just call the names.
No problem, no problem. Yeah. Okay, we call on Mrs. Schools. And we begin with Pearlette Bruce, Sarah Chandler, Diogo Charles, Christian Dover, Kayla Edwards, Rashawn Felix, Ashani Fontenelle, Wayne George, Amelia Griffith, Amelia, Amelia Griffith, Nathaniel Jacoby, just waiting, Nathaniel, Noah Jean-Pierre, Zachary John, Daniel Joseph, Keenan Joseph, Jaden Lim Chiang, Malia Maslin, Clivel Matthew, Nahum Morrill, Kadian Nestor, Haley Nolly, Dana Napoleon, Jordan Primus, Navin Prosper, Dinah Sampson, Kaylin Satani, Zeni Segist, Kimani Santoma, no, but the thing is that not all of them are there. Jarvis Weeks, Kateri Wells, Tia Wilness, these are students from Miss Nisa Prosper's class, who's represented by Mrs. Schools. Thank you, Mrs. Schools. And we now call on Mrs. Michaud Mrs. Florenville is representing Mrs. Michaud. We begin with Jameson Alphonse. Ethan Auguste. Ivan Augustine, sorry. Hannah Christopher. Avon Clark. Shireen Klein. Rian Emmanuel. Annalise Gillard, Keithan Gaston, Eva George, Zariah Henry, Jaden Fassois, what's her name again? What's her name again? Mark Anthony? Pardon? Malik? Malik Lamentine, Joshua Moise, Axel Noel, Elia Pierre-Louis, Joshua Perseus, Joshua Precious, Eva, Eva Regis, Katie Sajusin, Madison St. Helen, Agel Vitalis, Gabriel Yard. It's better now?
Sent one says to call them, yes, better now, but call them as they appear in the booklet. They will come because they are not in their proper seats.
No, when they're there, I can see who's there.
That is it.
That's it. Thank you, Mrs. Florenville, for replacing Mrs. Michaud. And we now call on Mrs. Fontenelle and the students. Joel Alexander, Javine Emab, Jaquan Augustine, Isabella Brown, Abigail Burin, Kimani Calvin, Kashi Shalari, Jadel Clovis, Tariq Daisy, Emery Fontenelle, students, Blair Francis, Dominic George, Giselle Georges, Joshua Inglis, Sweden Innocent Charles, Brent Jules, Jesse Justin, Zylo, Cashel Leo, Faith Lubra, Amadine Massey, Damari Maxwell, Desley McKinnon, Charlize Moise, Leila Marie Paul, Sage Pasil, Kiran Phillips, Jaden Scotland, Faith Segist, Annalyn Williams, Savannah Wheely, thank you, Mrs. Fontenelle, Mrs. Fontenelle's class. And we move on to our final class, Miss Eugene's class. So you'll have to look it up. And we begin with Amiel Albert, Tafari Anthony, Tristan Antoine. You'll help? Thank you, Mrs. Joseph, for assisting. Rian Baptist, Jelana Bobray, Vincentia Bridgewater, Shaz Butcher, Sage Charles, Jamal Evans, Canis Derivier, Kelly Crick, Michael Flora, you know there, okay. Kishana Isidore, Daisy Griffith, Michael Gabriel, Jabari Gabriel, Desiree Fassois, Tej Flavian, AJ, Tyler Morissette, Angelique Mackey, Azim Marius, Ocean Jules, Haley Stevens, Aaron St. Clair, Saisha Rogers, Harmony Raymond. Who's that? Is it Chloe? Chloe Phillips. Jessica Winnett. Caden Tweet. The students of our graduating class of 2020. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, Mrs. Leos.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Mayers. Now we will listen to a song. Please, students, you may follow the words of the song to the back of your leaflet. So as the song is played, just read through the words and reflect on what is being sung, okay? Believe by Fearless Soul.
Life's a challenge, but you will succeed.
A beautiful song indeed, reminding us that we have to, we must, we can't help but believe in ourselves, all right? All right. We now have the presentation of our awards at this time. These are for the students who scored 80% and above in at least 4 of the 6 tests that were done in grade. And we now call on Ms. Joseph. I guess you're calling the names, aren't you calling the names? First of our list, on our list, sorry, we have Amiel Albert. Amiel Albert. Vincentia Bridgewater. Vincentia Bridgewater. Chaz Butcher, next on our list. Sage Charles. Sage Charles, Desiree Francois. Desiree Francois. Jabari Gabriel. Then we have Azim Marius. Angelique Maki. Chloe Phillip. Saisha Rogers. Aaron St. Clair, Haley Stephen, Savannah Willie, Kishel Auguste, Ethne Brown, Omarion Edwin, Alexia Eugene, Nathaniel Jacoby, Danae Polio, Lucy Nelson, Eva George, Javine Amab, Isabella Brown, Dominic George, Jesse Justin, Zai Laurie, Cashel Leo, Faith Lubra, Amadine Massey, Damari Maxwell, Shalice Moise. Leela Marie Paul, Sage Persil, Perilyn Bruce. Christian Dovor, Rashawn Felix, Kayla Edward. Keenan Joseph, Bajan Fanis, Clean Maurice, Students, let's bring it down a notch, please. You are a bit too loud. Zeni Saint-Just, Cleville Matthew, Jordan Primus, Jordan Primus. Nima Samuel, Kateri Wells, Dandre Vigier. Jimerson Alphonse, Zaria Henry, Jakeem Raymond. Ethan Augustine, Nael Joseph, Eva Regis. Hannah Christopher, Malik Lamontagne, Katie Saju Singh. Shirin Klein, Joshua Moise, Madison St. Helen. Rian Emmanuel, Amir Joseph, Elia Pierre-Louis, Angèle Vitalis. We now move on to the most improved and most disciplined students, the awards for the most improved and most disciplined students. Students, I know you are excited. But let's try to get through this as best as possible. From Miss Eugene's class, we have the most disciplined student, Desiree Fossois. From Miss Fontenelle's class, we have Tariq Desi. From Miss Prosper's class, we have Kateri Wells. From Miss Joseph's class, we have DeAndre Vigier. And from Mrs. Michaud's class, we have Ava George. Most improved students, from Miss Eugene's class, Tafari Anthony. From Mrs. Fontenelle's class, we have Abigail Bureen. From Miss Prosper's class, Amia Griffith. From Miss Joseph's class, Melody Emmanuel. And from Mrs. Michaud's class, Axel Noel. Our overall most disciplined and improved students of grade 6. Our most disciplined students, male, we have Tariq Desi. Female, we have Desiree Fossois. Our overall most improved students, male we have Axel Noel, and female we have Abigail Bureen. We now call on Mr. M. Prosper as we present our sports award. Our recipients are Bajan Fanis and Saisha Rogers. We now call on Miss James as she assists with the handing over of the music award. And this goes to this award goes to Jovin Amab. We now call on Mrs. Salmon as we present our dance award. Sorry, Mrs. Joseph. My apologies. And these go to Ethne Brown, Sage Persil, and Savannah Willie. Now, folks, at every institution, we know that there are students who go beyond academics and get involved in everything else, right? So we are now going to award those who contributed to school life. These are students who, for a number of times and on various occasions, voluntarily represented the school in out-of-school competitions and other out-of-school events. These are students who took part in assemblies, concerts, quizzes, and other school events. These are students who willingly assisted teachers, supervised classes, and looked for the welfare of young students. They are the ones who played a part in the upkeep of the school. We will now call on Mrs. Mayers, Idonia Mayers, as she presents the certificates. And the recipients are Jovin Amab, Naomi Alexander, Kish East, Ethne Brown, Omarion Edwin, Emery Fontinel, Jaden Francois, Kenan Joseph, Cashel Leo, Angelique Maki, Damari Maxwell, Nea Moril, Jordan Primus, Jakeem Raymond, Haley Stevens, Savannah Willie, Amiel Albert, Jameson Alphonse. Stand on the line. Rian Baptiste, Christian Dover, Bajan Fanis. contribution to school life. Desiree Francois, Dominic George, Ose and Jules. Faith Lubrin, Tyler Morissette, Charlize Moise. Sage Purcell, Harmony Raymond, Jaim Simeon, Kateri Wells. We now move on to our subject awards. The 3 best scores, 85% and above in the different subject areas at the 2018 Common Entrance Examination were considered. We will now call on our Education Officer for District 1, Mr. Cyrus Sipal, who will present these. My apologies, 2020. For mathematics, these are the ones who attained 96%. We have Lucy Nelson, Christian Dovar, Anderson Tarapasad, DeAndre Viger, Damari Maxwell, Sage Persil, and Amiel Albert. Oh, okay. Let's continue to encourage them to attain excellence, guys. Let's give them a round of applause. And on to English. Those who attained 95%. Come on, guys. A round of applause for these ones. We have Angelique Maki, Omarian Edwin, and Joshua Moise. In our general paper, those who attained 90%, Perilyn Bruce, Eva George, Jovin Amab, and Faith Lubrin. Let's give our third place awardees a round of applause again, folks. Job well done. We now move on to our second place. Those who scored 98% in mathematics. Our mathematicians are Pearlette Bruce, Kateri Wells, Angelique Marquis. For a round of applause for them, folks. Fantastic, phenomenal mathematicians. In English language, we have those who scored 97%. We have Maurice, Maurice, Jordan Primus, Dominic George, Desiree Fassois, and Haley Stephen. Good job, task well done. Round of applause for them, folks. We now move on to our general paper. Those scoring 92%, Amiel Albert and Ethne Brown. Thank you so much, Mr. Sipal. Let us give a round of applause to our second place recipients. Come on, guys, we can do better than that. Woo! We now move on to our first place. Our presenter this evening will be our Chief Education Officer, Mrs. Fiona Meyer. These are our students who attained 100% in the mathematics paper, folks. Excellent, job well done. We have Ava George, Joshua Moise, and Dominic George. Indeed, something to be proud of. Job well done. English language, students scoring 98%. We have Ethne Brown and Ava George. At this point, I really want Eva standing there, you know. In our general paper, scoring 98%, we have Dominic George. Excellent round of applause for our first place award receivers, guys. Now on to overall outstanding performances. We would now like to acknowledge the students who obtained an overall score of 90% and above at the 2020 Common Entrance Examinations. We have Dominic George with 98.22%. We have Eva George with 96.11%. We have Joshua Moise with 94.33%. We have Ethne Brown with 94.11%. Pearlette Bruce with 93.78%. Amiel Albert with 93.78%. Angelique Marquis, 92.33%. Jordan Primus with 92.22%. Faith Lubre, 91.33%. Damari Maxwell, 91.22%. Kateri Wells, 91.22%. Desiree Fassois, 90.89%. Lucy Nelson, 90.78%. DeAndre Viger, 90.78%. Javine Imam, 90.67%. And Jesse Justin, 90.44%. We now call on Mrs. Leon. She presents the token to our center. Thank you, Mrs. Meyer. Our overall top 3 placements for our school at the 2020 Common Entrance Exams, we call on our principal, Mrs. Leos. Scoring 94.33%. Third place at our school, 11th best overall score on the island, but he was placed 16th. 4th place in District 1, 2nd male in District 1, 7th out of 1,052 males on the island, we have Joshua Moise. scoring 96.11%, earned her second place at our school, first female in District 1, second place in District 1, second out of 1,131 females on the island, second out of 2,183 students. We have Eva George. Earning 98.22% in our common entrance exam, first place at our school, first male in the district, first place in District 1, first out of 1,052 males on this island, first place out of 2,183 students who wrote common entrance in 2020 on this island. We have Dominic George. Round of applause for them. We now call on our guest speaker. As our principal presents a token to her. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mrs. Leons. We now move on to our final award, our Student of the Year. This award is presented to the student who perseveres to get his or her work done. This student produces constant good performance in all subject areas. This student willingly participates in both social and academic activities. This student represents our school in several competitions, helps to uphold the ideals of the Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School. This student is disciplined and respectful of all members of staff. This student, ladies and gentlemen, is a role model to his or her peers. This student offers support and encouragement to his or her peers, performs creditably at the common entrance examination to ensure that our school remains among the best on this island. As I call your name, students, please rise up, please stand, and rise up, right? Our nominees are Amiel Albert, Ethne Brown, Eva George, Dominic George, Angelique Marquis, Joshua Moise. We will now call on our dame to present this. Students, the rest of you miss it. I'm sorry you missed it. Ladies and gentlemen, our Student of the Year for 2020 is that student who exemplified all the qualities as previously mentioned. At the 2020 Common Entrance Examination, got a score of 94.11 that ranked 4th at our school, 5th in our district, and 12th on island. Our Student of the Year for 2020 is none other than That is it, Ethne Brown. Come on, guys, let's give a round of applause. Phenomenal job, Ethne. Job well done. We will now present our dame with a token. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, students, I want you to give yourselves a round of applause. I seriously want you to raise this roof. Come on. Job well done. Not good enough. Round of applause for yourself. Yes. Job well done. Okay, folks, I know some of you were grumbling and your belly was rumbling and you guys are hungry and you can't wait to get out of here to put something in your tummy. Something yummy in your tummy, right? All right. We now have a treat for you. But before we feed our tummy, let's feed our eyes. times at Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School. All of the cute faces that I saw there are still over there. You guys were so cute, wow. What a treat that was, what a treat that was. We now call on Miss Quanzella Alphonse as she does the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, students. Nice to see you again. I would like to begin by adopting the protocol that has already been established. We, the staff of the Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School, would like to express our deepest gratitude to our patron, Her Excellency Dame Pearlette Louisy, our Chief Education Officer, Dr. Fiona Meyer, our District Education Officer, Mr. Cyrus Sipa, our esteemed guest speaker and past student of the Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School, who delivered a wonderful message today, Ms. Abby Pulte, our specially invited guests for attending, our sponsors, Sandals Grand St. Lucian, Excel Sign, Winwood and Leeward Brewery, Peter and Company, Blue Waters, Mrs. Sarah Avril, Trophy Center, and Mrs. Agatha Herman. Our performers, the dancers who were also, well, they are graduates now, and our vocalist duet, Miss Jadelle Dimac and Mr. Michael Romero. Our production crew who made it possible for the live streaming. The most wonderful staff of the Dame Pearlette Louisy Primary School, which also includes our graceful and very eloquent MC, Mrs. Nerissa Felicia, the graduates, the parents, and all who are watching, our organizers, and everyone who contributed to the success of this 17th annual award ceremony. And in all things, we must give thanks to our Lord, just as Psalm 107 verse 1 states, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His steadfast love endures forever." Once again, thank you.
And thank you, Ms. Alphonse. We have come to the end of our ceremony. Folks, it was a good time, yes? It was a good time. You've met with your friends, your past teachers. It was a good time, all right? We want to thank everyone for coming and for being a wonderful, wonderful audience, all right? We do not end anything without prayer, and I do believe we should stand for prayer. Now, I take God's business very seriously. We are about to approach the throne of grace. I expect you to behave accordingly. Those of you who do so, please sign yourselves. Father, we thank you so very much for the sitting here today. We thank you for being an amazing God. We thank you for being a merciful God. We thank you for allowing us to see this day. We know that many of us could have not been here, but you have kept the breath of life in our nostrils, and you have kept us well, you have kept us healthy, and you have brought us here today. We thank you for the way the proceedings have gone. We thank you for your blessings. We thank you for your mercy, and most importantly, your grace. As we proceed this evening, we pray that you may go before us. We pray that you may continue to take full control, continue to be our God, our friend, our guide, our protector. And most of all, dear God, we pray that your blessings continue to rest on every single individual in here today and all who are listening live in Jesus' name. Amen. Catholic, you may sign yourselves. Now we have come to the end of our ceremony. Students, please. Students, please. We now have the departure. Please remain standing. All right, we remain in here. Students. Students, you may go out, but please ensure that your sash and cap is given to the teacher who sat with you. All right? And we are serving you on the outside. All right? Students, please, I was just reminding you that you need to ensure that you hand it over, but we are not doing that now. Okay? We are walking out now. Okay.
Get back into position.
Students, please get back to your seats.
Remain standing.
Please remain standing. Get back to your seats. Remain standing.
So they walk out first row? They're gonna start with this person, and following after, they'll be guided. Tell everybody stand facing the front.
Okay. Everyone, please stand facing the front. We are going to be heading out now. We know that this is a glitch in our proceedings, but let's do the best that we can. Okay? Our walking out begins with Finel Albert, and we proceed from there.